All right, everybody. Cinephile Mike, your friendly neighborhood cinephile, is here with day 55 of Award Season Reviews Season 2, and it is the final day of Razzies week. Yes, and I am here, as promised, with the other Jason Statham film that has been nominated at the Razzies, Lionsgate Expendables 4. Now, for those of you who have been following me, you may remember that yesterday I referenced that this film has the most nominations of any film at the Razzies this year, and its box office numbers support it. Now, during its brief theatrical run last fall, almost 10 years after the last installment, Expendables 4 had the lowest box office take of the entire franchise, making only $16,710,153 domestically and $21,207,832 internationally, for a total of $37,917,985, which only made up about 38% of its reported $100 million budget. In fact, this franchise had made less and less with each franchise entry from the first in the domestic box office. Now, while the second film worldwide had the highest total gross, domestically, these films have just gone down. The first one made $103,068,524. Then the second one had about 18 million less at $85,028,192. The third was less than half of that, with only $39,322,544, and then less with half of that for the fourth. The international numbers are what sort of drove the franchise, but not with this installment. Written by Kurt Wimmer, Todd Daggerhart, and Max Adams, and directed by Scott Waugh, the film is nominated for 7 Razzie Awards. Now, 2 of these 7, like Exorcist the Believer, are for Worst Picture and Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel. Acting-wise, it received 3. Worst Supporting Actress for Megan Fox, who's a 2-time Razzie nominee this year, also nominated for Worst Actress in Johnny and Clyde. Worst Supporting Actor for Sylvester Stallone. Worst Screen Couple for, I love the way they phrase this, any 2 merciless mercenaries. Worst Screenplay for the trio of Wimmer, Daggerhart, and Adams. And finally, Worst Director for Waugh. So, Expendables 4 brings our team of mercenaries, only a few of the originals, by Jet Li, Terry Crews, Schwarzenegger, Antonio Banderas, enjoyable in the third. You're gone. You're smart. Are on a mission to prevent a mercenary, Ramat, played by Iko Uwais, from stealing nuclear warheads for a big bad named Ocelot, an individual who we learn has a past with Expendables leader Barney Ross, the normal franchise lead until this film, Sylvester Stallone. Now, early on in this mission, Ross is killed by Ramat and gets away with the weapons. So CIA steps in. Agent Marsh, played by Andy Garcia, orders the Expendables team to go on the mission to fix what happens, get the nuclear weapons back, stop World War III. But the would-be next in line, Lee Christmas, played by Jason Statham, takes the blame for what happened on this mission, is blamed, and is removed from the team. And Agent Marsh puts his girlfriend, Gina, played by nominee Megan Fox, in charge of the team. And she will lead this team of Dolph Lundgren and Randy Couture, with new members played by 50 Cent, Jacob CPO, and Levy Tran. They will go on a mission to get those weapons and stop Ocelot. That's all I will say to avoid any other spoilers, but let's say lots of fighting and action and not much story will follow as we see this Expendables team try to save the day. Okay, I feel I can safely say this. I have seen all of the films nominated for Worst Picture and Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel. I can honestly say, and Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey was bad, but I would even give that film a pass over Expendables 4, which for me is the clear winner. In fact, all of the nominations, save Stallone, might be the winners come Razzie night. Stallone, like Franco Nero in The Pope's Exorcist, isn't even in the film enough to have much of an impact. However, looking at the screenplay, it's kind of filled with attempts at weak humor that try to capture some of the jokes from the first 3 films, but they don't quite capture it. And they even rely on a Mean Girls joke when one of the Expendables says to the others, "Get in, losers, we're going shopping." We're insulting to the Mean Girls movie now. I mean, part of the fun, this could be it. And this is not, strange knowledge. Part of the fun of the franchise is that it was like watching the 80s Avengers, right? We would have everyone Stallone, Lundgren, and, Schwarzenegger, Jet Li, all these classic, 80 stars going to battle with some of the other greatest 80 stars Eric Roberts, Jean Claude Van Damme, Mel Gibson. And they were great foils. But here, the villain is very weak with almost nothing to do and very unsatisfying ending because we know the villains in these film always do. Sorry, minor spoiler. Part of the screenplay, these actors, they don't have chemistry. They have not much to do. We, eschew plot for just loud action and bangs. I mean, even the third film, not great, but stronger than this one. When they introduced new team members in Ronda Rousey, Glenn Powell, Victor Ortiz, and Kellen Lutz, they at least had chemistry and had something to do, and that's missing here. So the cast members that didn't return, I'm sure they had their reasons, may have been for the better. So yes, based on this plot, not much for the cast to do. The screenplay nomination is, you know, a worthy one. Also, Fox, I'm sorry, she's introduced as a screaming banshee who just sets the whole film off on the wrong note. So, I mean, this leads Fox. I'm sorry, yes, worst supporting actress. Waugh, worst director. It's kind of warranted. So I don't think it'll be a shock when I say that I'm going to wrap Razzies week with another 1-star review for the Expendables 4. 3 of the 7 films this week, 1 star, a rarity. I usually like the Razzies films, but not so much this year. However, I know there are fans of the franchise, so if you are looking to see Expendables 4 or if you have been wanting to check out this franchise, I will say for films 1, 2, and 4, they're available for rental on demand or premium streaming through Prime with these third-party streaming companies I'm not familiar with. The only one you can see streaming for free is the third, which is streaming on Pluto. All right. So there it is. Razzies Week has come to an end. Tomorrow we go back to award season fair. And as a slight interlude, we're going to jump over the pond to look at some of the great films that were nominated for the British Independent Film Awards that have also been gaining some BAFTA traction. So you never know. You might find a new gem in these films that I'm reviewing. As always, if you like what you heard here, please continue to spread the word, subscribe, help me grow my subscription base. We are 66% of the way there to getting our goal. We have 34 more subscribers to go. We can do it. We got 40 days. You can follow me on all social media platforms, then on Letterboxd, and join all the cinematic goodness and conversation. Until then, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.